Hey everybody, it's Candy, aka Brown Eyed Girl 69. How y'all doing tonight? Well, it is 11:24 p.m. on January 14th of 2026. Day 14 of year what? I worked today from 3 to 10:30. We were actually kind of busy until this evening, and then it died off. I don't even think we had a customer for over an hour by the time we closed. The last customer I seen was around 10 till 9, and we closed at 10. So we got out of there about 10:20, 10:25. And I came home and put up some stuff and sat down and started to relax, and then I look at all the stuff on YouTube, and maybe I should go and sub from some of these folks, you know? Because it's like, I don't like seeing people, I don't like to see the divide and conquer narrative. And some people that I follow on YouTube that talks politics, they're not for either side. They're against both sides. Just like me, they realize that there are no two sides. That both wings belong to the same bird, It's hard to step back from that though sometimes when you see the arguing going on, because that it's all being done under the guise of blaming the right, but then you've got people on the right standing up for the things that are happening, And some of the events that we've been seeing take place as of recently are very similar to the events that happened over in Germany 80 years ago, 90 years ago. They started by rounding up the undesirables, taking them to places, separating them from their families, and taking them to places where nobody knew where they were. They were a number. They weren't looked at as if they were a human. They were looked at as if they were non-human. And me, when I was a kid, growing up, I always grew up believing that America is the melting pot. That's why America was created, for anybody and everybody that wanted to come here could come here and pursue their dreams here. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. I mean, that's what we're taught, right? But everything that we got going on here now, it's all a bunch of bullcrap. It's not what we were told, And the fact that people are still out there supporting these things, still supporting the Orange Man, finding excuse after excuse after excuse to still support him, knowing the truth. This is another thing. In 2009, when I woke up, it started awakening. I would say between 2009 into 2012. So for about 3 years, one of the guys that I followed, the one that passed away this past August, Matt, Show Me Baby, he always talked about the Don't Tread on Me. The Proud Boys, the militias, the, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, it'll come to me here in a minute. But you know what I'm talking about. Just different groups. Of men. Sometimes girls, I guess, were included too. That were basically, gave me the idea that they were wanting to, stand up against the government, right? But those same people, those same groups, are right-leaning groups. And they're the ones that committed the atrocity on January 6th. Well, those people are the ICE agents. The Don't Tread on Me crowd. The Patriots. The Proud Boys. The White Hats. They all basically succumbed to it. And now, they're the ones that are the ones that they warned everybody about all those years ago. Blows me away. It completely blows me away. Because I wonder if Matt was here today, what he would think about all of it. But first off, ICE agents are not police force at all. They're a completely different entity. And they have rules that they have to abide by, but some of them choose not to. But I've read a couple of things online today while I was at work, scamming through the social medias when I would get an opportunity on my break. And I seen where senior officers in ICE are choosing to not go to Minneapolis because of all the stuff that's going on concerning that and surrounding that. They're also recruiting. Well, there was another person in history, another very well-known person in history in the last 80, 90 years that recruited a lot of people too, the brown shirts, The young men. The young ones. That's what I think TPUSA's aimed at and towards as well, because they want the youth behind them. They don't want the older crowd like me, or the ones that are between 30 and 40 years old, because, well, they use their brains. they know what's up unless they're just heavily indoctrinated and heavily programmed, into societal beliefs and expectations. I'm just kind of shocked, I guess, at a lot of the things that are happening, even though I'm not trying to really dive that deep into anything. I've seen a few videos here and there from the, channels that I watch. There's so much doom and gloom. To me, it's all about balance, I don't want to be putting myself back in the closet and closing my eyes to the things that's going on in the world, while at the same time, I don't want to give unnecessary energy away to those things either. To me, it's all about balance. There's bad things happening in the world. There's always been bad things happening in the world. I don't think, because humans, even though humans are so much alike, they're so different, from one another. Their physical vessel is what is similar, as far as we all have a heart, we all have lungs, we all have a brain, we all have skin, hair, the basics. Male, female. A lot of it's the way we're raised, That makes us different. We all have different interests. We all have different passions, goals, desires. But yet we're all the same. And honestly, I feel that humans should be able to live their life as long as they're not hurting themselves or other people, however they want to live their life. If that means that they would rather have a home where they could garden all day long during the months that, during the seasons that they're able to do so, they should be able to do that. Without having to go out and bust their butts and give their energy away to a company that doesn't care about them. And then to have the government come in every paycheck and take a chunk of your money out before you get to see any of it. That's theft. Plain and simple. Taxation is theft. I just don't understand why there's not more outrage. There's outrage. People are angry. People are upset. People are at their wits' end, from what I see. But nobody's standing up to do anything. It seems like we had just, a nation full of keyboard warriors, And then, when you do have things like protests come up, most of the time, most protests unless they're put together by a small group or organization wherever you are. If it's like a national protest, then you're going to get all sorts of different types of folks there. And then you're going to have your counter protesters. I just think it would be a really good thing if all of us could come together in agreements that government doesn't work. All these rules, laws, regulations that they claim is for our safety and all this bullcrap. You know, between 2013 and 2018, in those 5 years, I traveled 9 states, 50 plus cities, and not once had any major issues or problems with anybody on the streets. All the problems that Daryl and I encountered were from people called police officers, law enforcement, government officials. Those are the only people that Daryl and I encountered that gave us any kind of issues or problems. The one, just normal, average human beings on the streets, housed up, whatever, aren't going to give other humans problems. Even though I see a lot of crazy things going on out there, people flying off the handles at other people for no reason, yada, yada, yada. But I think a lot of that is due to programming and TV shows. Regardless if you're watching actual TV or if you're watching stuff on the internet, like, Netflix or Hulu, all these. Why? I haven't owned a TV since January of 2009. I turned my TV off. January 21st, 2009. That was the day my TV went off and never got turned back on since then. I don't get into watching TV series or movie channels or anything. If I'm going to watch a movie, I'm going to watch a movie. That's it. I'm not going to get into watching a weekly series, anything like they used to show on TV, where you had to tune in the next week to see what happens. Nope, sorry. I ain't into that anymore. I think I actually saved a video. I'll have to look for it. My watch list, or watch later list. About, let's see if I can find it. The psychology of people who rewatch the same shows and movies. I haven't listened to it yet. It's only 5 minutes and 50 seconds, but that might definitely be an eye-opener as to why I'm nostalgic, because I really don't get into the new music. I really prefer listening to the old songs. I don't know how else to say it. I'm into older songs, older movies. I like to watch movies that I've seen over and over. I went to a movie in the early 80s. I think I was in 8th grade when this movie came out. And I know you're going to know what it is as soon as I say the name. But I went and watched this movie 13 different times in the movie theater. And each time I watched it, I seen something new. I learned something new. Maybe that's it. But that movie that I went and seen in the movie theater 13 times when I was in 8th grade, and I think back then the movies was about $3 to get in. So I spent a good $39 going to the movie to see this movie. E.T. E.T. Phone Home. I loved E.T. My mom even actually had a thing, a ceramic E.T. that she made for me. And if you put a light bulb up in it, his heart glowed, his eyes glowed, and his little finger glowed. It was really cool. Anyway, that's been January 14th of 2026. It's around 11:45 p.m. I've been rambling now for about 21 minutes. So I need to let y'all go so I can say peace, love, hugs, nugs, all that good stuff. Much love, everybody. Y'all are the ones that keep me going. Y'all are the ones that keep me going. Because I know there's people out there that do listen to me. And there are people out there that do support me. So if you like any of my stuff, feel free to, give it a thumbs up. Give it a comment. Most of the time, I respond back to the comments. It might take me a minute because YouTube seems to be slow when it wants to send notifications. But other than that, as soon as I see the comment, I definitely try to respond back to it as soon as I can. So anyways, have a blessed night, morning, day, afternoon, evening, wherever you may be. Me, it's about nighttime here. It's almost midnight. So it's definitely nighttime. Much love, everybody.